What is up, guys? It is Sam here, and I wanted to give an update on that rental property that I am trying to foreclose on. Before I get into that, I want to give you a little bit of context. I know a gentleman who is in his mid-80s who acted as the bank to sell this property to this lady. A number of years ago, she decided to stop paying the bank, or this gentleman, in other words, and he does not have the financial resources to be able to foreclose on her. And through building the relationship with him, I offered to connect him with investors or other people I know who could help him out with this situation, and he offered to partner with me or let me get control of the note for a large discount and go through this process. So that's what I did with him, and then I thought probably the best way to handle the situation would be to go have a conversation with the person in the property, right? Maybe see if there's something like that could be solved pretty quickly without having to deal with a lot of freaking issues. So after a bunch of different attempts, I went over with somebody else to go have a conversation and brought a purchase and sale agreement that essentially dictated that she would be receiving $10,000. Now, why would I do something like that? And then also to give you context on why she maybe made the decision she did. So if you take this, she stopped paying him, the bank essentially, the utilities, the taxes on the property, and then there's also one more lien on the property, which is one of the reconstruction or redevelopment for low-income individuals, where they give you a loan to do some type of renovation on the property that is due upon the sale of the property. So there's 4 liens against this property. The aggregate of all of those comes out to be approximately the value of the property if it were in decent condition. Now, the mortgage, which is around $100,000, a little over $100,000, I will probably be able to acquire for $30,000. And this will help out the gentleman, right? And then because it's at a substantial discount, right, to get her out of the property, I offered to give her, $10,000, so that way she has the first month's rent, the last month's rent, and several months worth of rent wherever she chooses to go to next. Then left that meeting with her with the expectation that over the next couple days, hey, we'll reach back out to you, see if that's something you want to do. And she talked to one of the lawyers for the city, which is probably a good thing to do to get some more information if you don't know what you're doing. And this lawyer, it's one of those, so you get 15 minutes free with the lawyer. So it's basically pro bono work. And from my understanding, my ex, somebody I dated for a while, did some pro bono work, and it's people in the last year of school or in the first year out of school, and awesome individuals, but they don't necessarily have the experience or context of the situation that's going on. So whoever it is that you talk to for under 15 minutes, this person recommended that they not accept the $10,000, and that was that. So now I I am, and who knows, right? Like there could be a situation. Maybe she's just super scared. I have a feeling, based on my experience, that it's probably more so bad advice, because literally now that $10,000, I'm just going to take it from her, where I was going to put it, and I am literally just giving it to my lawyer. And more than likely, I'll probably save money. Honestly, probably be less than $10,000 to get the eviction to go through. So. In that process, not eviction, I'm sorry, foreclosure. In the process of foreclosing on somebody, because it's with an individual, not a bank, and I'm learning as I go through this process, so feel free to correct anything that I'm saying incorrectly in the description down below. And on the way down to the description, there's a thumbs up button. You can just press that shit. Helps out the channel. So there's a mortgage and there's a note. The difference between the two is one stipulates the terms and conditions associated with the repayment. The other one is the amortization schedule and something else that's going to be recorded with the city. And I had one piece of that. I did not have the other piece, so I contacted the lawyer who worked on the original note. It's always more complicated, right? There's actually two different lawyers. So the first lawyer didn't want to necessarily take the time to go look in the archives. We're not even going to talk about that, right? Like, I mean, they don't have any incentive because they think a lot of people, not necessarily in this case, but they think very myopic in terms of what's in it for them at that moment, right? Because they bill per hour. And if nothing's in it for them in that moment, like, they don't, in my opinion, necessarily have an incentive to go digging through archives. It's completely understandable, but then, like, clearly you're not going to get any additional work, period, from me, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, just different philosophy in running business or doing business. Anyway, so went back to the lawyer before that, before there was the modification to it, and that lawyer was able to get a copy and send it out right away, and received that on Tuesday. Sent it out, or Monday evening, sent it out Tuesday morning to my lawyer, and hopefully later this week I should have some additional information on what the process is going to be, maybe a little bit more specifics about the cost of it, the duration. So if you ever foreclosed on somebody, let me know down below in the comments. Not necessarily the eviction, but the foreclosure. I'm curious to know what that process is. I am in Massachusetts now, so we'll see how this plays out. From my very elementary understanding, a lot of the times it takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 90 days, maybe up to 120 days. I'm curious to know if anybody's actually going through the process, because a lot of people have opinions who've never fucking done it, or their uncle's sister's mother's dad did it, and it took them 9 months, or whatever it is. But somebody who's actually had experience, I'd be very curious to know what their experience was. Anyways, don't forget to press that subscribe button. If you want to follow along, I will give you an update every single time I post. Every time I get more information and I learn through the process, I will be making additional content. It would have been probably saved me a lot of time if, when I started this process, there was a documented process to follow on how to do this kind of thing. And maybe there is, but maybe I didn't find it. And that is one of the reasons that I'm putting all this content out, so that hopefully maybe there's somebody else who's going through something similar, and this can help them in terms of like what that actual next step is, or how to handle that situation, or seize that opportunity when it's in front of them. Anyways, don't forget to press that subscribe button if you want to follow along. I will keep you guys posted. If this does go through, or if this does not go through, or if it's too ridiculously expensive, or it takes too long, I will keep you guys posted. So there's a little bell notification as well. If you press that